Welcome to the second part of our training tapes this season. Our next topic deals with the hit by pitch rule and the applicable rulings and guidelines relative to it. Ruling on a hit batsman in the scheme of things looks like a very simple task, but as we will see in this video, there's a lot more that goes into it from a rules and mechanics standpoint. Sound plate mechanics and judgment make for a consistently correct enforcement of this rule. The high school rulebook is very gray in the sense that it says a batter may not permit a pitch to touch him, but defining what it means to permit goes a long way in ruling on these plays. This video attempts to help officials develop guidelines that go beyond the rulebook. This can be a very disadvantageous penalty if enforced, as it could take away a batter's advancement to first base and possibly add a strike to the count, depending on the location of the pitch. It's very important to be in position to rule on this play from a rules knowledge, philosophical, and mechanics lens, as these plays can have an impact in an at-bat as well as a game. A key to solid umpiring is developing fundamental philosophies that can help navigate each of us through difficult plays and so that we can be consistent as a group on these same plays. We need to be sure that we are processing the batter's action as the baseball gets near home plate. First, a good guideline for the hit by pitch rule is intent. This is a pretty good indicator that the batter is doing something more than permitting a ball to touch him, and we must be alert for what he does. The phrase, "he hit the ball instead of the ball hit him," is commonly used in this category. Let's also remember that some batters are unable to do anything as the pitch hits them. This is referred to as freezing, and that's something we see when the batter is hit by a high-velocity fastball. The reaction time for a hitter becomes less and less as each pitcher throws harder. Finally, a good rule of thumb is that if there is any doubt regarding permitting a pitch ball to touch him, then the batter should be awarded first base. This first play is a classic example of a batter sticking his arm out and intentionally being hit by the pitch. In rulebook terminology, we are going to say that the batter permitted the ball to touch him. This pitch may not be in the strike zone, but that's fine. The rule says that the pitch ball is judged based on its location. We would award a ball in this situation since it is not in the strike zone. When we struggle with ruling on this, mainly it's because we are not working the slot and we have created an obstruction by lining up directly over the catcher or have too low of head height. This next play is very tough to decide if the batter being hit was the result of him permitting the pitch to touch him or if the run on the pitcher's fastball is what caused it. Again, this is why we have guidelines to help us rule on this play, and because of how tight it is, we should award the batter first base. Our explanation for this play would be, "Coach, he did not permit the ball to touch him." When we think about how to use the hit by pitch rule, consider the location of the pitch. Most batters are not going to make some sort of overt act when the ball is about to go in the dirt. This is mainly a safety thing for them, as getting smoked on the toe by a 90-mile-an-hour fastball is rather painful. This batter is doing anything but trying to be hit by this pitch. Definitely no intent, and he should be awarded first base. Let's also be mindful that a slight turn by the batter is not going to constitute in him permitting the ball to touch him. Again, we are looking for something more overt from the batter if he is to be brought back. This batter is correctly awarded first base, and let's keep in mind as plate umpires to get out in front of home plate as we are calling time. This is a good preventative mechanic considering the emotion that our game may possess following a hit batsman. Players have now become more creative in their ways of being hit by a pitch. Hitters like this one have been rolling either one of their legs in the batter's box as a pitch is approaching the dirt. This is another example of permitting the ball to touch the batter, and we want this out of our game. The batter would be brought back and a ball would be awarded since the pitch was not in the strike zone. We mentioned earlier about how important plate fundamentals are when it comes to working the slot. Our ability to adjust off of catchers is a big factor of whether or not we can see this batter sticking his left leg into the pitch. We see that the pitch is close to the zone, so the pitch is either ruled a ball or strike depending on the location and where the umpire judged the pitch. Recently, we have talked about having a feel for the game, and part of that is seeing the action of this fastball. It is the first step in tracking the pitch and a good indicator that this batter was not going to permit it to touch him. If we have a hit batsman with a check swing, ideally we want to call time and then ask for help on the swing before awarding the batter first base. It looks a lot cleaner than awarding the batter first base and then asking our partner for help. We appreciate your hard work and dedication to our student athletes. Your attentiveness and desire to improve is what makes us stronger together. We look forward to having you tune into our next training video.